Therapy Army. Can you hear me, people? Big up, people. Therapy Army. Apologies. Really, really sorry. I'm with our Nikki. We're in the car.
Hello.
They are my sister from another mother. And we went for a dinner. So big up to everybody. We've got a bit of things to talk to you about. We've got a bit of an interesting show tonight. We're going to be talking about Bruno's comments on Amorim. Already tried to get his brownie points up there. And then we're going to talk about this young player, Nypan, that we're linked with. Big up to Jarvis. Jarvis has given me a bit of intel about who the player is, but I think they might be busy with another stream or whatever, but big up to everybody. Yeah, I'm just coming back to the gaff. So hopefully we can go live with in the studio. But in the meantime, we're out here. Can you guys hear me all right? Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. So, let's talk about it, people. Let's talk about it. We're talking about Ligt, talking about how he thinks he's been. There's a lot more because of the rise of Ligt, the way he played as a youngster, as a 17-year-old for Ajax, captain them when he was 18 or whatever, 19. How the expectations are huge, and everybody expects him to be this world beater, but how unfair that is. I think he's partly to blame because he's not passive. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about this youngster, Nypan, if I'm saying it right, this Norwegian wonder kid, who's apparently coming over here in December to talk to football clubs. Attacking midfielder, 17 years old. Big up to everybody. Can you guys hear me all right? Can you guys hear me all right? Please let me know if you can hear me all right, people. We're back, people. We're back. Big up, Jamie Wayne. Yeah, big up to you. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about Bruno's comments and basically what he's putting out here. And already tried to get the brownie points with his with Amorim, talking about how Amorim improved, but also sending a warning shot to Amorim and basically saying, I don't think Amorim can create what he created at Sporting Lisbon at Manchester United. But what do you guys think about that? What do you guys say and what do you guys think about that? Yeah, so Jamie Wayne is saying that Napalm he's attacking midfielder, yeah. But he's apparently in December, he's coming here to be shopped around different football clubs, the big clubs. I think Arsenal, Liverpool, some of the big clubs are also linked with him. It's going to be very interesting to see. But apparently, according to some people, Manchester United are in pole position. So that's going to be very interesting dynamic to check out. Manchester United, could INEOS philosophy and INEOS is the INEOS philosophy. Big up Bledsoe. Big up Bledsoe. Appreciate you for jumping on. So could this be INEOS's strategic plan for Manchester United, buying them young, bringing the wages down, and not buying big players anymore? So depending on the youth, kind of trusting like Carrington in terms of like controlling the youth and then bringing coaches, not managers, them managing the football club. Big up Shakarian.
Yeah, I think that's
I don't know where Tom is. Tom, not heard from Tom lately. So, if you know, send him the link. I can send the link on here, and you can send it to him. Any of you, because I'm on my phone, I can't really go off the screen and then come back to the show. So yeah, big up though.
No, big up, big up to the chat as well. Yeah, man. I think it was pretty much said in terms of what their plan and model is. I actually also had that same idea that they would be using more or less the Brighton model, where they'll try and get players. They'll try and not go after established players as much. They'll mix it up more or less. I think we're more. I wouldn't say we're a Brighton type of approach. I think we're gonna mix it up because we still want to be successful at the same time on the pitch, but at the same time we want to do it without it hurting us in terms of sustainability and in terms of the wages. And when you look at the way the wages have been going, you'd rather be falling short, but with players who are not on high wages. I think that's how they're looking at it. Because if you're underachieving and you still have like a high huge wage bill, it's damning. It doesn't make sense in the books as well. You've got FFP, who've got an eye on us as well at the same time. So we're trying to manage the club, and we're trying to run it like a proper business now. So it's not a thing where we're just gonna throw money, for the sake of throwing money. We're gonna make calculated risks, and that bodes well for us going into the future. We've been crying about sustainability. We've been crying about us. Why are we not getting hidden gems anymore? Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? I mean, clubs around the world are starting to do that. Even Real Madrid are going into this into the same thing. They're investing more into young players as well. The same player that we're linked with, he's also linked with Real Madrid and Barcelona and Chelsea. So you can see that everyone is actually moving into that direction. It's no longer about just buying the established player. It's about mixing it up and have a bit of both sides of the coin, and try and benefit at the same time. So it's a good approach and a good model to go we can use going forward. And yeah, I see us linked more and more with such players. So we're going to see a lot more.
Yeah,
it's not going to be a surprise. Definitely.
I think I think this is also came from the top. Remember, if you remember any of the interviews that were done by Jim Radcliffe, Jim the Rat, basically was saying, yeah, we want to have the next superstars. What's the point of buying Mbappe? We were coming from the Dave and percent sexuals. It's their plan. He believes in his plan. He doesn't believe in buying Mbappe for 100-something million. He believes in making it Mbappe, and that's their plan. Let's talk about this. Let's just highlight this. Actually, Man UFC are considering cutting the 400,000 year budget they hand the Disabled Supporters Association muster in half. No final decision is thought being made. What an absolute bullshit! By them leaking that out, that decision is already been made. So mark my words. Unless there's a public backlash to this news, they've made a decision. This is what organizations do. They feed out the story, they leak the story, and then try to get the feel of the temperature, what the feedback is, and then they make the decision and finalize it. This is. So I really hope people write to Manchester United and go, what the hell are you doing? You're the multi-million pound football organization. You make so much money off the fans. I almost feel like they're fans like me who pay for pay for it. Fans like me who pay for tickets, pay for the disabled so that the disabled fans get a discount. Big up to Shekariando, Chief Editor United Real Therapy, for all the quotes that he's pulling out. Justin Ruben Amber is due to take Man UFC training for the first time on Monday, by which time FIFA expected to have arrived. Manchester United would wait till announced full coaching. It is ridiculous. So then that means then it's not coming till tomorrow. I thought that it was supposed to be coming tomorrow. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Big up, Sean. I hope you're well. All the way out there in the sunny California. I hope you're well. Big up to you.
It's not so sunny these days. Caught a bit of a flu, but excited for
Oh
Amorim's
no,
arrival.
the flu got you, man. So
What I'm
the flu
excited for. Yeah,
has
nah,
got
the
you,
flu is,
man.
yeah, it's a bit, it's definitely not as cold as over there, but you know, it's rainy season now.
Yeah,
And
man.
it's also,
Listen, what are you talking about, man? You're a lucky man, mate. You're a lucky man. You're well looked after, mate. You know what I mean? Newly married, well looked after. So give it a rest. Yeah, give it a rest, eh? People don't start feeling sorry for him.
nah, feel
He's well
sorry
looked after,
for
very
Man
loved
City and
up.
Arsenal. Feel sorry for all the other clubs in the Premier League that are
Hey!
about to suffer now that Amorim ball is here.
Yeah, yeah. Now, big up to everybody watching. Please smash that like. And I know that I've gone way later than I would, and I've not had the time to put it out on Twitter to say that we're live. But it is what it is, people. We're with our Nikki, and we're traveling back from home. We were invited for dinner, our friends, and we were watching the Greece-England game. And then we got into a conversation about cinema, and you know the rest. You know me, guys. I'm not that great with time. So I'm now chauffeur-driven home by my sister from another mister.
He's 5 foot.
Say that again. What did he say?
I said he's 5 foot.
Who's 5 foot, by the way? 5 foot chauffeur. She's got baby trainers. You should see her trainer site. Pull up here, just pull up here, pull up here, pull up here. Thank you very much. Right, Nikki. I love you. Listen, Sean, what do you make of the Bruno sucking up to Amorim? Are you with that? Captain is already, but he's also setting something aside, saying that we need to cannot expect too much about his fellow countrymen because when he cannot straight away replicate what he's doing at Sporting Lisbon.
I mean, I think Amorim himself already said as much now that we should not expect him to replicate what he's doing at Sporting for a couple of reasons, right? He doesn't have the same players, hasn't been with the same team for as long. The expectations are different, you know, for Sporting versus Man United. So Sporting can afford to defend for 70% of the game and hit City on the counter, but the United team can't afford to do that. So I agree with everything that Bruno said. I mean, Bruno seemed muted, like he didn't seem like super excited per se, but I really appreciate his comments. I think all the players right now, you know, should be looking forward to the new manager coming around. I've watched all the videos basically of Amorim shaking hands at Old Trafford, and everybody seems, you know, like they're smiling, good vibes all around. So yeah, I don't look at it as sucking up. I look at it as, you know, the captain, you know, doing his media duties and laying the carpet, basically welcoming our new manager into the fold. Excited times.
Big up. Good evening, guys. Good evening. I see Nuruddin is out driving. So, Nuruddin, if you want to go into your apartment and get ready, I can take it from here and just command the station. So, yeah, big up, guys. Sean, Lesso. Did you guys see the international games? Did you see England play tonight or?
Nope. Just waiting for Amorim ball to start. Honestly, could not. I did see the first 45 minutes of the under 21 game because I wanted to see Malaysia.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, kick a ball again, and everyone is paying attention to this Seko Kone fellow. So,
yeah, the striker.
Yeah, the midfielder. Sorry, the Seko Kone.
Yeah.
The defensive midfielder. Yeah. So you know that part is exciting. But no, I haven't watched any of the international games.
No, I watched the international game between Norway and Slovenia tonight.
Right, Haaland scored, right? I think I saw something about that.
Haaland scored one goal with a brilliant assist from Sander Berge, and yeah. It was actually a brilliant assist. Sander Berge was the man of the match for me. He was awesome. He was brilliant, and yeah. I can actually.
I mean, the Sander Berge ship has sailed now, right? Now that Ten Hag is gone, right? Jarvis like, no, there's no more Sander Berge. That ship has sailed. We're moving on.
I would take Sander Berge in a heartbeat, still with Ruben Amorim, because he's a great DM. And I don't know. I can just show you this, guys, because I had to take pictures. You see here, Slovenia is on the attack. This is Sander Berge in the middle, 1-against-2. He wins the ball and directly goes into attack. Here you see Haaland running, and
through pass.
and he comes in with a brilliant through pass, plays the ball straight in the middle to Haaland. Perfect balance on the pass. And Haaland goes through. So here you see it from another angle. Sander Berge with the ball, plays the brilliant through ball. Haaland alone on with the goalkeeper, and Haaland always scores. So
no.
I think I just have to say Sander Berge was one of my favorite. I'm a little bit sorry that it didn't get to go to Man United, but it's the name of the game with football. Norway won the game, by the way, 4-1. And we have the young international dribbler, the star who plays at Leipzig, and Antonio Nusa scored 2 brilliant goals. He's such a good dribbler. And the last goal was scored by a guy called Fredrik Hauge. And he plays for Bodø/Glimt, so we will get to know him.
In a couple of weeks. I think they
left winger.
They asked Amorim his first home game is against Bodø/Glimt. Which would be very interesting to see. But yeah, I wish more players stayed back from international duty. I actually would have loved if none of our players went for any international games.
There's rumors today, Sean, about Ligt actually having a real injury. It's a hip injury. So he's not bluffing just to get away from Argentina.
No, yeah, that's why I know, right? And I think there was a whole scandal about Bruha with Harry Kane complaining that some English players, are putting club over country. So I really hope Martinez is not injured, because that's a major setback. Honestly, that's a big setback for us. I think Martinez has been one of our better players this season. After a bit of a shaky time last year, and it seems like his injury record was very good. Then all of a sudden the injuries are accumulating now, and it would be terrible if it's the same type of injury, or an injury in the same part of his body, because that means that it's getting worse, and that the recovery times are likely going to be
well, it's not the same. It's a hip injury.
Hip injury. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if it's a hip injury, it's another injury. Is Licha, is he a injury prone player? Can he even be trusted? That's what I'm worried about now, because in going forward with Amorim ball, as I explained on the tactical show the other day, we rely on the wide center backs, because they are the playmakers in this Amorim system. They are the guys who receive the ball from the goalkeeper and break the lines up until the midfield four and will run with it. So they are so important in this style. So, and Licha is the perfect player in a way, because he's so good with his passing, and he's very, very comfortable on the ball. So I'm
very comfortable on the ball. Plays a lot of passes through the lines. Likes to look forward. Likes to look up. Yeah, I mean, Licha would be perfect, honestly, for that role. Right. I know. I'm going to mention somebody's name now that I know would cause a lot of problems here, but Luke Shaw could also come back and do a role there.
Sean, that's wishful thinking. He won't come. He won't be back. He won't be back. Sean is finished. He's finished. Just realize it. It's better to just accept it.
Yeah, I mean, for that role specifically, I think I would still put Luke Shaw on the list. Johnny Evans, Licha, and then Luke Shaw, because I think you probably want somebody left-footed who is more comfortable, basically, on that side. I don't mind if we see a surprise under 18 or under 21 player get promoted, although I don't know who that could be. But yeah, I mean, I think for me, like the short thing, right? I know we don't want to spend so much time on it, but the way I think about it is the Manchester United that I remember growing up, the club I remember had many a player that was injured for a long period of time. And they came back and they did their role, whether it was Brown or Fletcher or Solskjaer or something like that, right? And we were still able to accommodate them in the squad. Now, you can say that like we were successful at that time. So, it didn't matter. But I think the principle for me is still the same. The ethics of Manchester United as a club and the way we respect and treat our players. We should focus on signing a more reliable wing back for sure. But I just don't. I wouldn't be in a hurry to ship, Luke Shaw out, or I wouldn't just like disregard him because I think if he's fit, he walks straight into the team. But yeah.
Time will tell. Time will tell. While we wait for Nuruddin, maybe we can speak a little bit about this topic. I was saving it for another time, but we could might as well go through it. I saw this from Sky the other day. I think it was yesterday. Amorim's first 10 fixtures, and if you see here, we have Ipswich, Glimt in the Europa League, Everton, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Victoria Pilsen. Then we have the big one, Manchester City and Spurs. We go against home against Bournemouth and away against Wolves, and then we will be Boxing Day, second day of Christmas. So
ambition.
How do you see Amorim? How many wins do you think we can get out of this first 10 matches? And Therapy Army, come in with your predictions too. Maybe Leicester can go first.
Yeah, I think these fixtures are a bit tricky. You look at I think 2 away games, we're not escaping that unscathed. One of them I think we're losing. I don't know, between City and Arsenal. But I look at winnable games, man. I mean, Nottingham Forest at home, Everton at home, Leicester away. And we also can, pretty much. I think out of these, we should be at least winning, I'd say 7 or 8. We should be
7 or 8 wins.
Around 7 or 8, I think, out of 10.
So you don't think we will get any results against Spurs, City, and Arsenal? That's the 3 games you're looking at, the most difficult.
Yeah, I think it's a bit tricky. Even with Spurs, man. I mean, they've just sacked their manager, so he's gonna go on a run. The next manager that comes in is gonna go on a run. So
wait, who? Spurs sacked their manager?
I think Angie is gone.
No,
I think I saw something like that, or was it someone else or something else? Let me check. Oh, it's not Angie.
Fake news.
Yeah, it's not Angie. It's not Angie.
No. Angie is not gone.
Yeah, but okay. Looking at it, okay. Just based on that, on the positive side, I think it's gonna be 8 games. I think we win 8 games. I think we draw 1, and I think we lose 1.
Okay.
That's more. I would say that's more in the right direction, because we need these points. There's no more excuses. We need the Champions League spot.
I see Sheikh Arian comes in and they say Arsenal, Forest, City, Spurs, Bournemouth, Wolves are tough games. And I agree, especially when you see home and away fixtures. We have Wolves away, we have Spurs away, City away, Victoria Pilsen away. So we have and Arsenal away. So most of the difficult games are away. Both Spurs, City, and Arsenal is away. So
I'm not scared of Arsenal, right? And the way I'm looking at this run of fixtures, I'm thinking about momentum. I think we can enough momentum if we can pick up wins against Ipswich, Glimt, and Everton. I really am not scared of Arsenal. I think Arsenal are in a very vulnerable position, and they're there for the taking. I fully expect complete 10 wins. So an unbeaten run. I think the new manager bounce should see us through this run of fixtures.
Can you hear me? 1, 2, 1,
yes,
2.
You can.
Big up.
So I like the fact that the game against Glimt and Everton, they're both at home. I think that gives Amorim the first 3 games at least gives Amorim time to learn about his squad, rotate, learn about his players while still playing low risk fixtures. So I would say Ipswich, Bodo Glimt, and Everton are relatively low risk fixtures because we can afford to learn about the squad while getting away with 3 points. So I think our quality should be enough to see us through in the first 3 games. Then against Arsenal and Forest and against City, I think that's when Amorim should be flexing his tactical muscle or whatever know-how that he has to power us through the second half of these fixtures. So yeah, I think for me, is 10 wins really is I'm looking for Amorim to carry the good vibes from Sporting, continue unbeaten basically.
Yeah. Noradin, before we end this segment, maybe you will have a say on the next 10 games. How do you feel? Do you think we will have many wins in those 10? As you see, Ipswich, Bodo Glimt, Everton.
I think that the run is very interesting because we're playing interesting teams. We've got 2 different Europa League games, and we're playing traditional rivals as well. But then we're also playing like newly improved Nottingham Forest, Wolves, who have struggled, Ipswich, who are the newcomers, who have also struggled, Crystal Palace, who we should have beaten them this season. So
Palace?
It's going to be
Where is
interesting.
Palace?
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting in the way, the dynamics of it. But I would expect the kind of new manager bounce. I think till Arsenal game, we should get maximum points. I think we should beat Ipswich, Bodo Glimt, and Everton. I think Nottingham Forest are a very difficult team to beat. But then win that one. I think City, it depends if they find their form by the time we get there. If Pep Guardiola has figured out a new way of coping without Rodri and found a place for it and a different way of playing by them. Spurs is the cup game. I'm actually in London for work that week, and it's going to be very interesting. But yeah, Bournemouth are a very tricky team. I ain't gonna lie, people. I was there last season at Old Trafford and they smacked us 3-0 and it could have been 5. Wolverhampton, traditionally, they've been a bogey team. So yeah, we've always had to do something special to win there. So it's going to be.
But that was under Espirito Santos.
Different regime.
But even after him, different managers, we've struggled there. We've not been an easy game for us.
No, yeah,
all things have passed away. It's a new era of good vibes and smiling. No more bogey teams. I think the question I'm actually interested in is for Jarvis.
There are bogey teams. Let me tell you who the most traditional bogey team for Manchester United are. It's Chelsea. Chelsea, even when they were shit, when they used to have cars parked behind their goal. I'm old enough to remember when they were shit, when they used to be shit, when they weren't no big team back in the day.
Before Abramovich. No, I agree. But the question I wanted to ask the panel is that, does it really matter the outcome of these first 10 games? Does it matter what Amorim?
I think we can gauge. Yeah, I think 10 games you can gauge. You can see enough in the 10 games to go, okay, this is what he's trying to do. In the 10 games, you can see what he's trying to do. You can go, right, oh, Bodo Glimt, we did that. Oh, Victoria is doing that. Oh, Nottingham Forest, we're trying. Oh, Spurs, we're doing this now. Oh, Bournemouth, oh, we're definitely doing that. Wolves, oh yeah, this is how we're going to play. There's enough things to track and go, they're the visible things that what he's trying to do.
What about the results?
No, of course, the results are the results, but you can get gauge from the way he wants to win games and the way he wants to defend when he's ahead. You can gauge in the way the game management. I really think that. I really think he's gonna. I mean, call me naive, call me mad, but I think he's gonna hit the ground running.
I think call you hopeful. Wow.
I'm not hopeful. I'm just saying. I sense that he's. The way he wants to play football and the way he communicates it, I think the players are going to absorb that quickly. Because I think some of the players have no choice. They're going to know that they're out. This is their last chance. Some of them are going to go, this chance.
Damn, there are not you having some belief. and hope and faith.
No, I don't believe. Listen, I just have this feeling within me that he can get his things across very quickly and simplify people's games.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I agree, and I hope so too.
So I think we're gonna see, 7 or 8 games. We're gonna see what he's tried to do with this team. Because a lot of people are predicting. A lot of people are predicting the otherwise. That's the interesting thing. A lot of people are predicting otherwise.
I think he said that he already knows how he wants to play, right? He's going to stick to something he's familiar with, so we can expect.
I'd like to shout out my friend Sophia, shout out Mark, people who are watching, shout out our Nikki. I had a wonderful evening tonight. Worked, and then I went dinner. I had an amazing Greek food. My friend who's Greek, Sophia, a partner. It was wonderful to watch the Greek and the England game. And tonight I was supporting Greece. Greece played really well, and it wasn't a 3-0 game. I'm not going to lie to you. This is the best Greek team I've seen since 2005 when they won the Euros.
And do you remember the name of the coach?
Oh, my God, the German guy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Starts with an O. Otto.
I'm tired. Otto.
Sheikh Aryan said Nuruddin first time being positive in
Rehaga. Otto Rehaga.
Yeah. Otto Rehagel.
Otto Rehagel.
Yeah. He was actually a mastermind when it comes to tactics, but it was solidly defensive setup, all out defense.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't a 3-0 game. I thought at least Greek deserved a draw to get a draw. But England caught them on the 2 goals on the counter-attack, and the rest was history. Yeah. I heard you a little bit. I was listening backstage when I was getting in, Jarvis, that you watched Norway tonight. After this, I'm going to watch some of the highlights of the game, because I am absolutely I'm bewildered why Norway don't make it to you've got one of the best number 10s in world football who plays in the Premier League. You've got a fantastic midfielder in Sanderberg. You've got probably the craziest striker in world football. And all you need to do, the rest of the guys, they have to just run. They have to run.
And we have Antonio Nusa, the
Leipzig guy. Who's a tricky winger.
He is the reincarnation of Neymar, I would tell you. He is.
I saw him. I watched him. So
he scored 2 goals today, both dribbling goals, like sliding past the defenders, right, left, and scoring goals.
Yeah. Big up to Shaqiri. And Ruben Amorim's private jet from Portugal to Manchester United was the most tracked flight in the world on Monday, with nearly 11,000 people monitored. That is incredible. That is crazy. Big up to Aileen Donatinos at the panel chat. Amorim's baptism of fire. We see who these players are. He will see who these players are, yeah. Big up to Aileen. The breaking Man FC Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur have lodged a legal notice reserving the right to seek compensation in Man City are found guilty of serious charges among the 115. Interesting. Alleged breaches of the Premier League financial rules. Well, that's interesting. Listen, I want to talk about, before we get to Bruno, what Bruno was saying, and talk about the possible strategy of INEOS and what they're going to try to do. And the clue was in one of the first interviews where Jim Radcliffe was getting the club and what he was saying. We can get to that in a minute. But let's talk about this new youngster with our Norwegian correspondent, Jarvis. Oh.
Yeah.
Nypan. I can't even say his first name properly. How do you say his first name?
Sverre.
It's Sverre.
Sverre.
It's Sverre.
Sverre Nypan.
It's Sverre Nypan.
Yeah.
He is a hot property. Apparently, he's coming over here in December to be shopped around among these football clubs. But according to reports, according to sources from our Norwegian correspondent, he's Manchester United bound. Jarvis, first of all, how good is this kid?
Well, it's very hard to say when they are at that age, because we don't see them play at a high level, because the higher you get, the faster it goes. So, but his technical abilities are 10 out of 10. For me, his technical abilities reminds me a lot of Odegaard, the way he's moved on the ball and he just glides. And if you should compare him with some of the academy players, we have what would I say? We have that dribbler, that young guy who's one of the forwards, Shea Lacey, if you know him.
Yeah,
On the right. Yeah, he reminds me a little bit of that because his close control is brilliant. He just glides with the ball and he's very creative and he has the vision. So when he receives the ball, he looks like he had a lot of time with the ball, but actually he makes it simple. Simple 1-2, simple one touch, glide past the player. So he's very smooth in the way he plays. Also, he reminds me a little bit of Phil Foden with his technique. So if you, but the thing is, he's 17 years of age. He's not very big. I would say he's kind of small. So buying him now, he wouldn't be a first team player at once. We will need a couple of years, maybe a loan or something. So, I'm hyped up about this guy, but that's because I see the future with Nypan on one side and Shea Lacey on the other side, two really strong dribbling wingers who can create. That will be the perfect combination with those two guys. So for me, that's my dream. And the thing is, it looks like Man United are going for this guy. As I said, he's smooth in the way he plays. He's gliding around the pitch, and the rumor says it's about 20 million euros, including add-ons for Sverre Nypan. And the interesting thing is Norwegian TV. One of the commentators on the game was the ex Spurs striker Stefan Iversen. I don't know Iversen. I don't know if you remember him. He played for Spurs in the late 90s.
Yeah, Iversen, yeah.
Iversen, yeah. And he said on live TV that the deal is already done. And the thing is,
with Manchester United.
Yeah, the deal was already done with Man United. But as soon as he said it, it looked like he was trying to backtrack. And then he said, but it was just something I heard, nothing from the Rosenberg board or something like that. So it almost slipped out and he immediately started backtracking.
Wow.
I don't know if what you can read into it, but you got to remember he is from the city of Trondheim, that's Rosenberg, and that's his childhood club, so he knows everybody in that club.
Wow.
And he's saying that on live TV. For me, it's a big hint. And I read it in the Norwegian papers today, and it hasn't been out in the British media yet, so probably because of translation, but it will be. So Sverre Nypan to Man United, that will be great.
I mean, but is he coming into the first team or going straight or going to play with the young guys like Sekukune?
Well, he played 26 games this season for Rosenborg in the Norwegian Premier League with the Dogs.
And is there a lot of hype about him, Jarvis? Is there a
lot of hype. And you see it right away when you see him on the pitch. You know why. You saw the clip I sent you today. I don't know if you had the time.
Yeah.
You see that he is aware when he receives. He's very mature in the way he plays football. It's not about flicks and tricks. It's about effective technical football, in a way. The way you see, for example, Odegaard. It's not about a lot of step overs. It's just one feint and the ball to one side, and you just park the defender. So this is how I see it, and I think he will. If he can take the tempo of the Premier League and the physicality, he will be great. But he has a lot of steps, so 1 to 2 years on loan, and then he will be ready, in my eyes. But we are building the academy without a doubt, and I like this strategy from INEOS.
Yeah, agreed.
We are not splashing the cash on big names anymore. We are splashing the cash on big names in youth football.
Worst case scenario, we sell him for a few years like Opama, right? We sell him for 30 million or 40 million if we can't get into the first team. So it's kind of like a win-win.
Yeah, but we are talking about 20 million if we want to buy him. So it's a lot of money. I don't think we buy him to sell him. We buy him to.
Oh, okay.
He will be the future star.
20 million is a lot. It's giving
when,
Ahmad.
when you think of it, Sean, remember it. He's going on a trip to Britain. Arsenal wants him, Liverpool wants him, all the big club wants him. He can pick and choose. Even a lot of the Bundesliga clubs wants him, and he's 17 years of age. So the thing is, he will need time. And Martin Ødegaard was the same. When he was 16, he was playing in the Norwegian Premier League all the time, and he could choose. He went to England, he went to United, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Barcelona. He went to all the big clubs, and he chose Real Madrid. And he played one game as soon as he came there, and then he went on loan to the Eredivisie, played a couple of years there. Then he went to Spain and played for I think it was Villarreal or something. No, Real Sociedad for a couple of seasons, and then he went on loan to Arsenal. And
before
then
ending up at Arsenal, right? Yeah.
So it takes a lot of time to develop, especially in that kind of role, more centrally in the pitch, because you need so much experience to read.
I mean, it's a combination of things, a combination of time, luck also, because if he's in our team and there's an injury to Bruno or somebody, and by virtue of that, he's able to get into the first team quicker than, he might have otherwise. So, you never really know.
1 second, Sean. 1 second. Yeah. Big up Sophia. She says, we love you, Nuruddin. I think Amorim's first aim should be persuade Paul Scholes to come out of retirement. Third, you already nice? Tried that. It's unfortunately 20 years too late, but thank you for your comment. Big up our Sophia.
That would be nice, though. Paul Scholes would be the best. It's exactly what we need in midfield. But I agree with the strategy of Chido Obi Martin, Sekou Kone, this Nypan guy as well. We want to be signing the players that are going to be superstars in 2 to 5 years, not paying huge amounts of money to sign them from other clubs. So it makes a lot of sense. This is the United that I remember, right? When I was growing up, I remember we're waiting for a full year to get Rafael and Fabio from Brazil. Did I know anything about them? Nope. But it was it was something that we used to do. So I think, going back to our roots, developing the best players in the world makes a lot of sense. And if, like I said, if you don't use them, the worst case scenario should be that we end up like Cole Palmer, selling them to a good or Smith Rowe. Sell them for a decent amount of money in a Premier League club. So no downsides for this as far as I can see.
It's going to be very interesting. I really think the strategy with the clue was in one of the interviews that Jim the Radcliffe did with the press when he was told about Mbappe, he was like, "No, we want to develop the next Mbappe." So this is coming from him. This is the strategy of INEOS. And one thing is the way to control the wages as well. It's a way of controlling the wages. He's injured, isn't he? Kone is good, but he's break first team. Yeah, he got injured, didn't he? He left the Black Huddersfield Stadium with crutches tonight the other night, didn't he?
Yeah, he was injured. Yeah, he played 45 minutes, but then he got injured. Yeah.
What did Stefan say about Nypan? Yeah, so he said that. Yeah, he explained that. But yeah, it's interesting, people. It's really interesting where we're at. So this is the strategy of the club. Yes, you can look at it in another way, but it's also a money-making experience. Is that why Jim the Rat wanted to get involved, just to make profit from selling young players, selling young players? Is that what we are now? We're going to be the new creators?
I know we don't like to hear this, right? But I think it's very important that United become a selling club. It's very important. I think we should be very happy that McTominay is killing it at Napoli, because the more McTominays we can create, the better for us. It would be good if every summer we can raise between 80 to 100 million from selling players like McTominay. That's a good sustainable business model, and one I think many United fans should be open to.
Totally disagree. I think Manchester United should develop players to win trophies, especially compete for the league and try to win a Champions League. I think that's what they should. Now, when did Stefan say this about Nypan? Yeah, he said it on TV the other day. He said it on TV.
Yeah. I will try to find the link. I'm actually searching for it now, because I think it was a local.
If we're successful, United, if we're a successful club, there are going to be players that fall by the wayside. There are going to be players like McTominay or Cole Palmer who want to get into the team but can't get into the team because the team is that good. And that's what I'm talking about. Like Pogba previously when he first left. I think we want to be in a space where we can raise money from selling some of our young-ish players who are good enough to be in the Premier League, but not good enough to be in our own team. And that's what I'm getting at. And I think that's a business model that we have to be looking to, we have to adopt, because like the way football is going, clubs are going to need to make money from player sales, whether or not we like it or not. We're just going to have to do that. What I think is something that we should encourage.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I think. Listen, I totally disagree. I think Manchester United, should stop. Manchester United have always Le Carrington, as we say it, has always produced players. Yes, the players who are not good enough to play for Manchester United start week on week. The high standards that we will set is not for everybody. But I'm not here about using it as a business model. I want Manchester United to develop players at teams and develop young players that help Manchester United challenge for a league title. Now, Mario Vidic on Ruben Amorim, the time will show. I don't know much about him. Obviously, I know he's very successful sport, and listen, he seems like a positive guy, I think, and he has a winning mentality. Big up Shakarian, by the way, Chief Editor United Therapy tonight. He played top level. He was a decent player. He had a good background. But for me, what managers and coaches need is modern game. It's first of all good recruitment and the ability to deal with players, media, even the people in the club. And I hope that he's the right fit for the club. Yeah, big up to him. Big up to everybody, by the way. Big up to NK as well. Okay, saying we need to buy some experienced players as well as young players. Have top-class quality players. Jim only is here to collect shares in the pie. Facts. Tell them, AK, we don't want any of that pie collecting, man. Try to collect shares in the pie. We don't need any of those kind of mentality. But big up to everybody, and all of you watching. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. EPL is saying here, INEOS business, they're here for profitable business, not to make losses for trophy. They will prioritize top four over any trophy. Well, they're no fucking different than Glazers, if they get that. No, we need to sell and be good at team as well. Yeah, we need to sell to buy. I can understand that as a thing. It's difficult to say whether it's the right or not, but definitely have to say that Eric Ten Hag got the support from the club over the years. The club invested a lot of money in the philosophy, but you have to look at results. My expectation and expecting of the fans was much higher. Yeah. The Mario Vidic talking about, I'm not sure it was just a problem with the coach. I think we have to look at the bigger picture. Other things need the right help the coach to perform and give the best of his ability. Sometimes you don't need the best players in the world to play for your club. You need the right characters if you want to play at the big clubs and competing for trophies. Now, 100% characters is really as important as much as talent. You have to be consistent. It's not just down to the quality; it's down to the mentality, and that's the key for me. Yeah. Well, for me, the biggest thing, I think I've told you before, he needs to set very competitive culture at Manchester United, and he needs to have that training culture where the training has to be super competitive, 9 against 9, 8 against 8 in training. You have to raise that level. And then I think the Saturday or the Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday football will take care of itself. But anyway, I want to get back to some of the other topics. We talked about that bit about Nypan. We've got our correspondent or a reporter, Jarvis Bowley, Mr. Never Gonna Give You up. Should have the house mix. You know what? I'm already singing. That's the house mix. Yeah.
sorry. I put this on in Norwegian to Olav Omondal. I reckon it's Norwegian on the name. So I'm just saying that he said it on the live. On the live transfer from because he works not for a television company, he works for a newspaper, and they were live covering the game, and he said it under the game, and it was referred it to in one paper. So it's something.
It is something, yeah. My expectations more for them than the players. When I was the player, I set to do well in every game, and if I didn't do well, I was angry at myself, saying to myself, I need to do more. I need to do extra because I was not good enough before. No matter if it's guys, even though we have some of the fantastic players, I think my question is more about the characters, the resilience, being ready to compete, to give extra, compete week in, week out. He carries on, says, I remember when he was only playing for my MC, Chris Smalling, Phil Jones, Johnny Evans, I was thinking they were all coming to take my place. I was scared I was going to lose my place. Now that happen anymore, man. Everybody's come to get paid, my friend. The bankers were already in Namadia. And that's normal. If I'm not performing well, they bring the new guy. No one had to tell me that. Yeah, big up to everybody. So we're going to go to a little bit and go back to the main thing, what we talked about. Bruno sucking up to Amorim, also warning him. It's very interesting. I think he's also having a dig at Manchester United players. I'm like, you need to look in the fucking mirror, man. The audacity of this guy is unbelievable. But he says here, I hope he does the same here, Sporting, because I know sometimes person can change energy of a space and right moment. Something really, really special in Sporting. If some doubts that is about just looking in the past. Bruno, we hope he can come at the right moment for him to come and bring his energy, bring his qualities and knowledge of football, because he's done. What is he saying? He's done. What has he done? What has he done? What's the word? Yeah. It goes back to you. He's done really, really special things. It's not just about looking in the past. Yeah. Amorim, he continues to say, Amorim, we hope he can. No, that's the next one. He says, I hope. Obviously, it's an amazing achievement for me. This is talking about him getting a little award, 250 appearances. It's a big number, even more bigger club. It's something. Yeah. Anyway, Bruno is sucking up. Big up to Shakarian for posting it all. I'm sorry I missed it when I was getting ready, but he's just basically talking about things. He's talking about, like, saying that he was also warning, saying that Amorim can't bring what he's seen there. I'm pretty sure the idea of football, he has an independent way he wants to play. It's going to be good. It's going to bring success. Yeah. So, and then he continues. I hope that's what I hope, and I'm pretty sure it's what he hopes too. So yeah. He's saying that Amorim is a smart guy. He's a smart manager. He's done really good things for Sporting tactically, and it's really good. We've seen him from the game for Sporting. Okay. Well, it says here, but obviously we always speak. You can bring you can't bring or transform what he has done Sporting into here, because it's different players, different ways to play, and everything. Yeah. But anyway, what do you think about that, Jarvis? You know, I'm like, you need to look in the mirror, mate. You've been absolutely disgraceful in the past.
Well, the thing is, I think the players are trying to pull the same trick on Amorim as they did with the past managers. They will overperform just long enough, and then down tool at the moment they stop caring, you know. And then there will be another manager out the door while the players are clinging on. And this is the movie. We have seen it several times. This is part 4. You know, and there's no big surprises. There's no element of surprise in this. We know it. So I'm quite sure that they will perform well from now until the end of the season. They will be complacent when we come into summer training and friendlies, and we go into next season. They will get full of themselves. They will down tool a little bit, drop 5%, and then the shit will hit the fan again. This is the movie. So the only way I can see we will come out of this is if Amorim is aware, because Amorim can't judge them on what will happen now until at the end of the season. He must judge them, look at their history and judge them all the way. You know, he can't just say that, for example, Rashford will be a brilliant player if he scores 15 goals from now until the end of the season. Because if you look at the history, you know he has purple patches. So he has to read the whole map, not just the last part of it. So for me, I think it's very important that Amorim does this, because these players, they have the tendency to to drop their performance when they feel complacent and they stop caring. And we saw this, for example, under Ollie. Everybody gave their all for 10, 15 games, and then it stopped. It was like a balloon that popped, and we had nothing. And why? Because they gave it all. They squeezed every little drop out of that lime, and they had nothing more left. And it comes down to level. I think the level of these players are not good enough. Even though if we go on an unbeaten run for the next 10 games, I know these players are not good enough. They won't win the league. So a lot of them has to go, and this is what Amorim needs to take. It needs to be ruthless with a lot of these players for us to succeed. So this is what I hope he will do.
Yeah, but just my only slight pushback would be I agree with you that it's possible that we'll see these players perform initially, but that's where Amorim himself has to earn his pay, right? I don't agree. I don't get the sense that like these managers are just helpless victims who have been bamboozled by players. These managers make choices, right? Ten Hag made a choice to limit his group of inner caucus to a few players that he felt like he trusted, right? And he was the one who chose to keep playing Anthony over Ahmad, or to burn these guys into the ground in his first season, so that by season 2 they were all exhausted. The manager has agency, and he's going to have to earn his pay when it seems like the players he thought he could rely on are no longer trustworthy. It's up to him then to be brave enough to bench them or to drop them from the squad. So he's not going to be a victim. He's not going to be an innocent or unaware victim. He's coming into this club, I think, with his eyes open, clear, knowing exactly what happened to Ten Hag, what happened to the manager before Ten Hag, what happened to the manager before Ten Hag, and so on and so forth. Bruno.
I just want to say, Sean, Amorim, he doesn't have any experience when it comes to big clubs, and you got to remember, Sporting is one thing. When you come to Man United, everything is amplified by a million. So when we win a game, the hype will be so far. If we win, you remember when we started winning under Ollie, the Ollie on the wheel.
Always at the wheel, yeah.
Everybody was
saying, Ollie's at the wheel.
We were.
How good does it feel?
We were in cloud 9, and this will happen if he starts winning.
No, Jarvis, everything you're describing is still.
And the same is when if we start losing, everything is wrong with the club, and the pressure will be so. This is what Amorim has to learn.
No, but it's his job, right? And I think he has a sense of how risky it is, because before the game against Man City, he said it himself that he knows that if he wins, people will treat him like the next coming of Fergie, and he wants fans not to think of himself that way. So I think he's pretty self-aware of the risks that you're pointing out, right? That like it could go from you're a hero to you're a demon depending on the outcome of the game. I think he's aware of that. For me, I'm not willing to give, because I don't think any manager right now can be taking this job not knowing the type of club he's working into, not knowing the environment he's coming into, not knowing the type of players he's coming into. Amorim, I think, has to be coming into this with his eyes wide open. Like, I don't want to hear that, like, you have to know exactly what you're coming into. And it seems like, he understands. So like I said, he's already trying to set expectations, right? By saying, oh, I can't play exactly the way I played at Sporting here, but I would use the same formation, or I have an idea of what I want to do. So what we really need from the manager really is not to be the most tactically astute, or just don't wait till the 80th minute to make a sub, right? The kind of like silly mistakes that Ten Hag was making. Don't put all your faith in Anthony just because you sign him for 90 million. Don't throw Casemiro under the bus after one game against Liverpool. Don't run the same 11 players into the ground in your first season, knowing that by the second season they'll be exhausted. All these type of choices, basically. Don't tell me that after a year of playing, you can really trust 11 players in your squad to do your style of play. What have you been doing with the remaining 10 players in the squad as well? So, like, all these things, I think, have to count as part of his job and his remit as a manager. And he has to ensure that, like, he doesn't get carried away by the media drama and by any of that stuff. But I liked what I heard from Bruno. To me, it doesn't seem like sucking up. It seems like, a captain talking about, where the team is. And he's hinting at something I think is revealing, right? That clearly there's like a bit of like a the vibe became very bad towards the end of Ten Hag's tenure. And I think a lot of what Van Nistelrooy did in his 4 games there was just to make the players feel good about themselves. Like, okay, I believe in you. Casemiro, forget what Ten Hag was saying. I trust you. Højlund, I trust you. Rashford, stuff like that. And changing the energy, just changing the energy around the place. It's an uncountable, unquantifiable thing, but I think it really means a lot because half of what you see on the pitch is vibes. It's really vibes. If Amorim has his players motivated to play for him, like motivated to play for him the way the sporting players are, I think he'll be fine. But I don't want to hear him talk about how he's surprised that he's at a big club because if you're surprised, then just go back to Portugal now. You're not ready for the job.
But the thing is, he won't have all the players. That's the curse of a football manager because there's only 11 players that got to start every game. And you have a squad of 25, 26, 27 players. There will always be people complaining, not being happy.
Yes, and what we learned from Fergie's era that like some of the old players would talk about how Fergie would tell them, 3 weeks ahead of time, oh hey, I have you in mind for this game, right? So I'm going to bench you for the next couple of games. The manager has to earn his pay. Like he has to find a way to keep the squad happy. And I think you do that by rotation. So I don't want to see a situation where like Ten Hag, it's the same starting 11 for Premier League, same 11 for FA Cup, same 11 for Carabao Cup, same 11 for every single tournament because you're chasing 4 trophies at once. I like that's irresponsible, right? Give everybody in the squad a chance to play and a chance to prove themselves as a manager. And I think you will get because you want a situation where a substitute now is coming on, and it feels like he has a role to play in the team. Not that like I'm only playing you because I have nobody else. I'm not going to take that from Amorim. I think he has to earn his pay. And part of earning his pay means use your full squad of 25 players. Use the full squad. Don't use only 11.
Well, I think that's difficult because our squad is very, very unbalanced, and a lot of these players are insufficient when it comes to football quality. So I think that will lose him a lot of points, and I don't see the point of playing Lindelof, for example, if he's obviously not good enough and is out of contract in the summer, and we're not going to prolong it. Then I would rather just pick up an academy center back and play him instead.
But that's an Amorim now, right? That's the manager's call to make. And for me, either way, it doesn't really matter as long as we get 3 points at the end of the day. As long as it doesn't come back to bite Amorim in the future, right? So I don't want a situation where, like with Casemiro, towards the end of last season, it looks like he's out of the squad, and then suddenly now he's like a mainstay, right? Same thing goes with Eriksen. So like Amorim has his work cut out for him. I don't agree that this squad is shit. I think Amorim is inheriting a better squad that Ten Hag did.
Without a doubt, yeah.
So for me, and this league is wide open. This season currently is wide open. Very inconsistent teams across the board. So like there's no reason why Amorim shouldn't be able to get something going. Whatever we think about Lindelof, he's an experienced player. Right?
He's crap, man. He's crap. Stop there, man. Stop that
sure.
He's crap, man.
Fine.
He needs to get out of there.
Yeah, he's not United quality for where we want to go, right? But I don't see why in a 3-man defense we cannot manage Victor Lindelof as our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th choice centre back. Because if Lindelof is playing, it means that there are at least 3 defenders injured ahead of him. So that's not a situation that you can plan for or that you really even want to be, ordinarily. So yeah, like for me, like all this, Amorim has to come in and earn his pay. So basically, I don't want you playing with the same 11 all the time. I don't care. Like, use your squad of 25 players. Use your squad. Don't tell me that you only have 10 players that you trust. Coach the rest, because that's what we all want. Now we all want a coach that can bring some. And to me, also, that's how you keep the players honest. Like the only way to keep the players honest is if they know that like their position is not guaranteed. So there's nobody in this United team right now, aside from maybe Onana. Onana, maybe Ligt. Right? There's nobody else who's starting the position should be guaranteed in this squad. Okay, maybe Mazraoui. I'll take that back. Onana, Ligt, and Mazraoui. Nobody else should have a guaranteed starting position so far. Everybody should be trying to earn their first team slot, and I will be looking for Amorim to treat them that way, essentially.
Listen. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But a lot of the things for me, what he was saying was a lot of waffle. I agree with Jarvis. For me, I never just blamed everything on Ten Hag. I said the players also bear the responsibility, and the rotten culture that is at Manchester United. And the biggest thing what Amorim is tasked with is not even just the tactics and the way he's got to play. It's more of to get rid of that culture, that toxic culture. And can INEOS, are they broken billionaires that are in charge of our football club right now? Or are they just talk? Are they going to walk the walk? That's the biggest thing. For me, I'm no longer going to be blaming coaches and managers because he's the coach. He's not a manager anymore. He's the coach. The blame has to go a lot on INEOS because INEOS are the management team for Manchester United football operations. Big up Jim the Rat, Judas. We have to cut off the support for the handicap to encourage them to stand up and overcome their disability. Believe in INEOS. It's in power. Be like Sean. Oh my God. So this is what they're doing. This is how disgraceful INEOS are, Jarvis. Honestly, it's fucking shocking. The amount of money they get from supporters in the stadium, and they are doing this. They basically briefed this out quickly. This is what is called in the corporate world, Jarvis, testing the temperature. They leak this out to test the temperature. If there's a lot of backlash, they're like, "Oh, okay, maybe we shouldn't do it." The backlash is not as severe as they think. They go ahead and do it. Manchester United are considering cutting 400,000 a year budget they hand to their Disabled Supporters Association, MUDZA, in half. No final decision is thought to have been made. Well, it's a fucking disgrace because we, for the rest of us paying fans in the stadium, pay for them, Jarvis. That's what people don't fucking understand. This is one of the most.
Can I pop in on that? I just want to say one thing. I don't think so. I don't think that the match-going fans are paying for it. I'm not slandering the match-going fans because I think they are vital. They are the soul of.
So the amount of money they spend on food and fucking pies and drinks.
They are. But you got to think of it like this. Let's say if you have a televised sitcom, let's say Friends or Seinfeld, with a live audience. The match-going fans are the live audience in the studio. They're making the atmosphere, but they are not making the show, the money. The money is made by the televised people who are watching on the TV. Those are the paying fans in a way. But I'm not taking away from the match-going fans. It's just how the economics in the club are, and how I believe a lot of, let's say, if you are the guy who runs Man United with billions of revenue and millions of pounds, you have a spreadsheet and you see what's important. And I'm not sure. I am not sure if they see the match-going fans as the most important income. That's just my say on it, because I'm not trying to be rude against the match-going fans. if you get me right.
Yeah, you're correct. I think I forget the actual numbers, but I think ticket sales on a match day make up, I think, less than 30% of Manchester United's revenue. Right, so fans are still an important part, but I don't know too much about this whole disabled stuff. I think I hear what you're really saying about the trial balloon. So you leak something to test the waters and see how the reaction is, and you make a decision based on the backlash that you're getting or not. So I get that, but at the same time, honestly,
but the match-going fans is the soul of the club. They are the club in a way.
It is. Yeah, no, it is.
And the televised people, we are just sitting here paying and watching, but we are not even a part of it in the same way. We're not directly involved as following fans. So
I
yeah,
understand what you're saying, Jarvis.
I don't
But
believe the
the
story.
fans spend money as well in the stadium. I promise you, Jarvis. They spend a
they
lot of
do.
money.
They do.
And they contribute to the large revenues that Manchester United take, and
They
they're one
do,
of the most
they do.
profitable football club, even though we've been shit for 12 fucking years. Big up Mateo, big up Jarvis, the rest of the panel, everyone in the chat. Up the fucking Irish, up the Palestine. Our club is discriminating our disabled fans. Told you the Glazers are woke.
Well, like wouldn't work be to not do this? And yeah, I don't believe the story. I don't believe the story. I don't know where it's come from. I haven't seen it reported by any credible news outlets. And I just
Daily
don't
Mail?
believe it. I mean, Daily Mail is not credible.
Yeah.
It's not- I
No,
don't
but
think
I think it was the Daily Mail who came out with the story.
Oh yeah, no. I don't believe it. I think it would just be so much. It would just be such an amateur PR disaster that I don't think it's, because the language says Man United are considering. I don't know what considering means. Considering could mean a lot of things. It could mean anything from somebody mentioned it in a meeting, somebody put it on a list of possible cost-cutting ideas. Like, considering could mean anything. So yeah, I don't believe the story for a second. And I would encourage us not to waste too much time on it.
Put it past them. I don't put it past them. Everybody's talking about Incensio. I think that's how you say his name. If you say it differently, then you say it differently. Yeah. Listen, I wanted to also talk about tonight. Big up to everybody. Big up everybody in the chat, by the way. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel. The channel is still shadow fucking banned, man. So it is what it is. But the lit came out and basically spoke about how the expectations were so high when he was at Ajax, that the fact that he played at Juventus, played at Munich, he basically said because of his expectation was so high and the hype around him was so much, that now that it, regardless how he plays, people are always going to hold him to that. And for me, speaking on that, on the Mandems yesterday, the day before, I basically said that he was part of the hype in himself. He was loving it. He was loving it. He was part of the hype. And I think players contribute to that. They contribute to this good PR, them and their agents, you know, giving interviews and try to pretend he's that guy, Captain America, that leader and all of that BS. So, guys, I don't know what you guys think about it, but I'll go to Lesso first. I think, yes, the media, football media, likes to build people up, then crush them. You know what I mean? Then be part of their downfall. I think it's in all sorts of life. Even the thing about what's happening to this referee at the moment, the media pylon. I just want to quickly just say that I hope he's all right. I hope his loved ones are all right. Obviously, there's this grudge for the friend.
What do you mean?
The videos with,
cokeheads?
and it looks like this friend is either blackmailing him or fell out with him, and now all these videos are getting released. But I genuinely do hope that his mental health is well, and I wish him well. I think you're stupid, any of you, if you infantilize people in authority, and people in authority figures are not just human and fallible like you and me, and they don't talk crazy or they don't do drugs. If you think that doesn't happen, then I don't know what the hell you're talking about. The white powder, the Colombian, Peruvian, Bolivian stuff is actually there's a culture in this country that is associated taking that with high pressure jobs. I repeat, that white powder from Latin America is associated culturally in this country for people being with high pressure jobs, being able to take it. You look at it in London in the banking industry. You look at it in the Houses of Parliament. You look at it in the footballing world, in the commentary and all of the TV and the music industry and the television and the film industry. All of it is ridden with people who take that stuff. So this idea that, oh, wow, he's took something like that. Like, get over yourselves. Stop.
I don't want to argue on this point.
I want to go to Leicester 1 second, Sean. I want to go to Leicester 1 second, Sean, and I'll come to you. Hold tight. Go on.
Sorry, yeah.
No, Sean,
man, I
you
mean,
can say something quickly. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, it's okay. Go, Leicester. Go.
All
So
right,
I
I was
just
no
going
want
to
man.
to
say
say,
that.
I
To
just want to finish
that
the point by
oh,
saying
sorry.
this: that if you infantilize these people and you think they're better than everybody and they're so authority, then I don't know what world you live in. Like they're
I want
human
to say
beings.
two things
So
quickly on
me,
this
I
point,
don't think he
Rudy.
should be banned. I don't think he should be banned. I think that he made a stupid mistake. To me, if you find that referees, if you got evidence that they're match fixing or they are, there was a German referee. I don't know if you remember. You know, him and Bellingham had a run in. He got
I
caught
just want
match
to
fixing. Like he got
That's a
he
real
got
quick.
caught, and
I
he's
just want to
refereeing
say
now. He's
two
refereeing
things on
now. So
this
this
point.
idea that people should somebody like him, because I don't think you know, if he was a footballer earning lots of millions, I'd be thinking, you know, you've earned enough. You've earned enough.
Rudy,
Like
there's a
from
principle
football.
at
Sean,
play
one
here
second,
that
please, Sean. 1 second, bro. So that we can hear each other. You know, we don't cut each other off. So then I want to go to Leicester and come back to you. So just make notes. So for me, I don't believe in this downpour. And all of a sudden, every fans on Twitter saying, "Oh, football is corrupt. Football is the referees are corrupt." I'm like,
it
they're not more
matters. It
corrupt than any other
matters.
yeah,
time.
It matters what you're seeing to be done. Justice must also be seen to be done as well as just like being done. The appearance of impropriety matters too. It doesn't matter that we all think that everybody does it, right? It's different when you see it being done. That's a whole different ballgame entirely. Sorry, go ahead, Missy.
Let me just get this quickly because this is really important. Big up, Peter. He says, I'm a registered disabled. I have to go online every game to even try and get in a lift pass for Sir Alex Ferguson. Fans are literally missing kickoff, try to get into the stadium. Wow. So look at the way they're treating the people who are disabled. It's unbelievable. But let's so go ahead. Let me know what you think
yeah, man.
about
It is what it is. About
the lit. Mainly the lit says, you know, he says here,
oh
it's not just the bit when he talks about. No, you can talk about the referees well, but mainly the lit. That I think players are responsible for the overhyping. They need to come out and show that they're very humble. I genuinely do think that they shouldn't let media get away about how good they are. They shouldn't believe the hype. But you can also talk about the referees well. But go ahead.
no, I think it is what it is. You know, I mean, these players, you know, they under these management companies, you know, that their agents are the agents basically own. So it's problematic. It's all about trying to maximize profits of their brand, you know, because this is a very short career, and possibly beyond this career, you can get yourself roles, you know, anyway, you know. So it's not just about even about the playing career, it's about prolonging the a career in some sort, you know, beyond football. So yeah, it's all about brand you know, maximization, you know, these sort of things. You know how it is to be out there in the spotlight. So some of them, you know, I guess they just allow that. They don't have much control, you know, into anything. You know, they'll tell them what to say, what not to say. Their social media accounts are like they basically don't even own their social media accounts. Like someone else basically like tweets it, whatever that they feel that it's gonna be, you know, they need to put out there after every game. So yeah, it's very tricky. You know, I think the one who said it best was Patrice Evra, as well. He said it. He said it, the way money's been thrown around in football today, and even in the entertainment space. You know, it's things have changed. You know, it's now about branding. It's about putting your face out there. It's about, you know, being around there. So your PR team are in charge of like basically trying to get you into the team. It's no longer about anything else. It's about these players, agents trying to get them playing every single week and getting sponsors seeing them on TV as well. So it's obviously profit to maximize on profits and everything. So it's very difficult. You know, there's a lot that goes into this. Like I say, you know, that's why even certain players don't even as much as we don't like it, but there's politics in every football club. You're gonna play because you know your brand is just bigger than the next person. Because you sell more shirts than the next person. So you know it's those sort of things that play a role, and these players are told to do that in order for them to get a place in the team. And I'm not surprised. That's been happening a lot. And so yeah, man. Oh yeah. By the way, I also forgot to make the point on the Tanakh thing. Just before I pass it on to Jarvis. In terms of you remember in the last previous show, I did tell you guys that when he walks here, there's no clean slate. I'm the first one to say there's no clean slate here, because what we're doing, guys, we're basically doing revision here. We're basically revising the same strategy over and over and over again. Every manager that comes in gives everyone a clean slate. What happens? The same players throw them under the bus. So you need to, when you walk into something, into a new place, a new environment, you need to make sure that you source as much information as you can. You need to, because you're reliant on that information to make decisions going forward. So even if a player picks up per se during the season, but they've been poor, overall, and they've been under 3 managers, and they've been, substandard to some degree. They haven't been able to be consistent and under any manager. You get rid of them. You do what you do. You come in, you give them a chance. Yes, fair enough, but you sell them while you can still sell them. Because by the time, listen, it's not really giving them a chance, because what we're saying, giving them a chance, it means that they're gonna perform and you're gonna keep them longer, because that's basically what's gonna happen. What I'm saying is that what you do, be smart about it. Obviously, we're not saying that you must just sideline people, because it doesn't make sense. You need to still sell them at the end of the day. So the best thing, what you do as a manager, you walk into the place, you make everyone feel comfortable and everything. You give them the encouragement that you want. You basically, in a way, be sly. Don't show them. Don't play your cards. Let them feel like, you've got all the faith in them, and then you sell them at the end of the season. Because now you have to think long term here. You have to think about your survival as well. You've seen managers being sacked. If reports and data is coming out to say this player can, will give you a good season or season and a half, and then he'll ghost the next season, and it's been repetitively being seen, and you can see that this is how things are going, then the best thing to do, you get the best out of the player, and those players, the fringe players that have not been getting the minutes, and you get rid of them at the end of the season, because now then that's when it's easy to to sell them off. And unlike when you're going to try to sell them off when they lose the former game. Do you get what I'm saying? It's been strategic. I've seen managers do this, everywhere. I've seen even Pep do it. When he first came in the first season, he was told to play certain men, because now, obviously, when you have to try and sell these people, you have to have sell them at a good value, and so that you can be able to buy more players and bring more players in that you like, or the club may be looking at, to fit the way you want to play. So the best thing he needs to do now is to tread carefully, be strategic about it. Don't sideline people. Give everyone an equal chance and whatever. Which players. I don't think there's any manager that doesn't know which are the best players.
But give everybody an equal chance, but lie to a few players that you plan to sell anyway at the end of the season.
Pretty much.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think part of the issue that we had with Ten Hag was that these were his signings, right? That in the entire squad, only Rashford and Bruno and Diallo could have been said to have sacked another manager. And Diallo's best football was under Ten Hag. So was Rashford's. Bruno, you could argue maybe his season under Ole versus the first season under Ten Hag. But all these guys have played, these 3 players I'm talking about, they've played their best football under Ten Hag. So the idea that they've sacked many different managers, to me, just doesn't track, because these are not the same players. It's a whole different of players. And that's part of, let's say, Rashford, Bruno, and Diallo.
Listen, Sean.
Apart from 3 of them.
Rashford, let me tell you something. Rashford and Bruno do not fit the way Ten Hag wanted to play. So why did he put all his faith into them? You see what I'm saying? Because now he had the he had the opportunity. Listen, he had the opportunity to get rid of both. Bruno was offered apparently by one of the Saudi Arabian teams in the summer. We were offered a large sum to actually get rid of him off the books, and that would have been the perfect chance to rebuild the team. If you look at what Sporting did after they got rid of Bruno, with what they did with the money, Amorim built with that money. And essentially, they became league title winners because now overall, you have to look at players like Bruno, for example, and
I'm not going to be able to convince you on this Bruno point, because it seems to me pretty clear that for many United fans, they want to see Bruno and Rashford gone. There's an agenda
listen,
specifically in that regard.
It's not even listen. It's not an agenda. It's not an agenda. Let me answer this.
I think what you tend to say is that the agenda is justified, right? That it's a justified agenda.
Let me answer this. Let me answer this, Sean. This is very simple, my guy. Bruno, everyone knows this. I like Bruno, but you have to look at the team cohesively. With a player like that, you don't win no league titles. There's no league title you're gonna win with Bruno playing the roles that he's playing. He's very disciplined on the ball. He loses possession. He's everywhere. Like literally, he's just everywhere. He's not where he's supposed to be in a system. He's not a player that you'd like to have, because obviously, man, his ball retention is not up to par. We know this. We all know this.
Judging this based on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
I'm judging this ever since he got here and when he was playing at Sporting. Because at Sporting became a better team when Bruno left. Why is that a coincidence, people? Because you have to not analyze it with just a microscope. You need to look beyond what type of style this guy has been like this. He has been like this. He has been like this.
What else happened in Sporting after Bruno left?
Sporting won the league. Immediately when Bruno left, Sporting won the league.
More things happened, right? Aside from Bruno leaving, and again, this is my whole point. This is my whole point. That you can argue that the agenda is justified, but
besides that, Sporting became
nonetheless.
No, listen. It's not an agenda. Ask any Sporting fan. I know one. By the way,
it's not a
Sporting. No, listen. Sporting became an all-round better team when Bruno left. Yes or no? Can you answer that question?
Did they not?
Did they or did they not?
I'll put that down to their exciting new manager, Ruben Amorim.
Sean, answer the question. Answer the question, Sean.
No, let's do. I mean, the question is not a good one, right? Because you're asking me to put.
No, it's a good thing.
Player leaving.
It's a good question because a player can be. Listen. A player can be good, but at the same time, he can also be detrimental to the team. The way the team progressing going forward. Is that yes or no?
I understand that you believe
that.
Right?
It's not a belief; it's a fact. Did they win the league or not? Did they score more goals or not without Bruno? You must understand. Listen, goals from Sporting. Goals from Sporting. Listen, goals from Sporting were spread across. Goals from Sporting were spread across the team when Bruno left. When Bruno was there, everything was centralized. Listen, you're not getting the point. When a team centralizes a player making it is a good point.
It's not a point. Like
it is a good point. It is a good point. It is a good point. You're not getting this. I'm saying when a team is reliant.
Your point
is reliant on things.
Your point is that Bruno makes the team worse, and that by removing Bruno will be a better team. That's your point,
listen,
right?
That's not my point. You see exactly. Okay. You don't get what I'm saying because you're jumping over my words.
Let me say it again.
You're jumping over my words, my guy.
Let me say it again, just in case you don't understand me. Your point is that my understanding of what you're saying is that Bruno makes the team worse, even though he's a good player.
You're not getting my point.
Oh, yeah,
you're not getting my point. The team can be.
Tell me what I missed.
Listen. I said Bruno is an enigma in terms of if your team you want to further progress. It doesn't mean that I said that Bruno is making the team.
What are you saying? What am I saying?
You're saying I'm saying Bruno is making the team worse. He's not making the team worse. Bruno is making the team stagnant. There's a difference
so
between
we
getting
can't-
worse and
we can't
stagnant and
improve.
stagnation,
Okay,
my guy.
let me rephrase. So you're saying we cannot improve with Bruno in our team, right?
We can't win league titles with Bruno in our team.
Okay.
We
Now
can't.
I'm saying that
Everyone
I'm
can
saying
agree
that,
with
like,
that.
I don't agree with that because I don't know where you're getting that
Everyone
from.
can
And
agree with that.
It makes absolutely no
Everyone
sense
can
to
agree
me
with that.
to
John
say
and
that,
Lesso,
like,
can I
Look,
can I jump in?
look in the chat. Look in the chat.
I just
Everyone
want
agrees with
to
that.
point.
So, my
Don't
guy,
point me to the chat.
you're watching
Right? Because
football with tinted glasses.
don't point me
You're
to the
watching
chat
football with
because it
tinted
doesn't.
glasses.
The chat is full of people that agree with you, right? And it
No,
doesn't
you're
tell
watching
me that
football with tinted glasses.
there are 30 of you that are wrong, and so therefore, you should point to the number of people that are wrong. You're all wrong. It makes no sense to say that, like, Bruno left Sporting.
Just
so
like how
therefore,
you are wrong
he's the
against with
reason.
Ten Hag, my guy.
No, yes, I'm sure.
Just like how you are wrong with Ten Hag.
Of course.
That's how you are wrong with Ten Hag.
Yes, definitely. And this is the way to be a United fan, to be negative all the time. Great job, Lesso. It makes no sense to say that, like, by definition or by virtue of Bruno leaving, Sporting became a better team. Like, that it's such a flimsy
They
analysis.
did.
Like, if
They
the student
did.
came to me with that kind of
No,
answer,
it's
he will get
it's
F.
a factual analysis.
You can't.
It's a factual analysis.
It makes absolutely no sense. What
It's
about
a
the weather?
factual analysis,
What
my
about Pedro
guy.
Porro? What about the new manager?
If you want to be emotional about this, that's fine with me. The facts do not lie. When this guy left Sporting became a well cohesive team.
Yes,
Anyone
so
agrees with that, and that's it.
So therefore,
That's it.
because of Bruno.
So why? Because they became less reliant.
This is the
Everything was going through
quality of
Bruno.
analysis we can expect to get.
Oh
from
my
from
Jesus!
YouTube.
Guys,
Oh my
please,
goodness! Oh my
please,
goodness! You're much
be
younger, my guy. I watched football before you.
I'm sure you did. Now you're a football expert.
I played
Guys.
football as well, my guy. So you don't know what you're talking about.
I can't wait to see you.
Time out.
Wonderful.
Time out.
Lovely.
We have a super chat.
Time out. Right. Disagree with each other. I get, and I actually largely agree. Be shocked and surprised, but I largely agree with what Lesso's saying. Yeah, they became more of a well-rounded team after, they were playing a lot through Bruno. But they also, to be fair, Lesso, they had a better manager as well. Amorim came in and fixed everything, to be honest with you, and he won a league with his first season. So it is what it is. Big up Adewale. Sure, stop trying to talk over my guy. Bruno does not make the team worse.
No, so he's saying Bruno does make the team worse.
He makes the team worse because
my goodness,
he's placed in the final ball way too much for a team to get enough points over 38 game period.
Only me rates Bruno.
You only rate Bruno.
No, only you rate Bruno. So you're saying I'm the only one who rates Bruno. That's fair, right? It's possible that I'm the only one that rates Bruno, but I think this is what I'm describing as a textbook definition of an agenda. People whose opinion are not subject to facts. Like, so your opinion will not change regardless of the outcome. You're stuck in your opinion. I'm open to change. So you're dissing me by bringing up Ten Hag. It seems to me the mark of an intelligent person to change his opinions based on data and facts on the ground. Unlike somebody who's proud of the fact that your opinion doesn't change regardless of the outcome. I'm saying
no, it just doesn't rate. Listen, people don't rate Bruno. Look, people don't rate Bruno. Football is about that opinion, Sean. Football is
fine.
Football is about preference. Football is about preference.
But I don't want to be part of a fan base that cannot bring themselves to support the team because you have an agenda against a particular player.
It's not like every team has that. What's going to happen? Every fan base has that, by the way. If you think it's only United fan base.
If Amorim comes and starts Bruno, if Amorim plays Bruno in his squad, instead of fans like Leicester,
Bruno has to earn it. He has to earn it.
Lord.
Maybe Bruno is a good enough player. What they will say is that Amorim doesn't know what he's doing. That's what they will say. If Amorim plays Bruno, it will be because of INEOS pressure or behind the scenes agenda or politics. Amorim doesn't know what he's doing.
That happens. That happens in football.
Okay.
He's the highest paid player in the club. The highest paid player. That happens. The highest paid players are forced to play at times at football clubs. Let me just get this other super chat. People are negative, sure, because you weren't winning title like we used to. Again, it's like you support Spurs and not United. Your football.
No, so Adewale, I want you to go. I think my response is going to be the Garnacho response. I want to see you play football, Adewale. Go and be a manager. You great and wise. Go and coach Coventry or Aimba FC from Nigeria before you come talking to me about bullshit. We all have our opinions. So I think the idea that like somebody on YouTube here tweeting or texting from his couch knows more than me is bullshit. And so like this agenda, I think, is killing our club. And I want to support our new manager, regardless of an agenda. So if Amorim picks Bruno, I will support him. I will not come here and say, oh, maybe actually Amorim doesn't know what he's doing. Because
Sean, do you
clearly
understand the
everybody else can see.
frustrations in the way Bruno plays? Do you concede that point? Do you understand Bruno?
I understand the
how he
frustration,
plays,
but I think many
indisciplined way
fans
he
are
plays?
misguided. I understand the frustration, but I think many fans are misguided. Many people are spoilt.
Well, there
Like,
you
this
go.
YouTube
There is
era
something.
has spoiled
Listen,
and created a nasty, I think, attitude among the fans. But yeah, sure.
listen. Bruno is literally is trying to be a hero. He's trying to be everywhere except his position where he needs to be. He needs to be disciplined, disciplined. He has to work as part of a team, and he can't just be thinking, I can do everything. That to me, and he's been crap for the past year and a half. But let's bring Jarvis in. Jarvis, where do you stand on this? In terms of the Ligt, where do you stand on the referee?
I want to have my word on Lesso's point. When it comes to a player leaving, I don't buy that Sporting became better just because Bruno leaving. For example, when Zlatan left Inter for Barcelona, he went to and joined the Champions League title holders and the best team in the world, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And in return, Mourinho bought, I think it was Samuel Eto'o.
Yep.
And the season after, and Milito. Inter won the Champions League when Zlatan left. So, and according to that argument, you can say that Zlatan is a bad player, but he won everywhere he went. Inter, Milan, Juventus, you name it. So in a way, you can't. I don't buy that argument. But
it's not a good argument.
But if I'm trying to get you right, Lesso, I agree with what you're saying. Bruno is not holding us. It's not making us worse, but he's holding us back in a way because it takes too much of responsibility. He wants to be the guy who gets the ball all the time, but he has limitations. He's very good at some aspects of the game, but there's some other aspects of the game that he doesn't do well. For example, ball carrying. He's not a good dribbler. He's not very positional aware, disciplined. His decision making at times, especially when he gets stressed out because we need a goal, he makes the wrong decisions. So for him to carry the team at this amount as he's doing at the moment, he's not good enough. And this is one of the biggest problems with Bruno. It could be better if we have more players that take the same responsibility as him. Maybe that will make him let go a little bit. Because I don't think Bruno is a bad player. He's very good, but he needs to stick with what he's good at. He can't do it all. And this is where Bruno's limitation comes in. So we
Jarvis,
can make it work with Bruno. I believe we can make it work. I'm not sure if the solution is just to get rid of Bruno, but we gotta find a way to discipline.
Jarvis, can I ask you a question? If you were manager of Manchester United, would you keep Bruno? You know you would get rid of him because you could think better player in that position. Yes, you know that. Simple. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Because you would prefer a different player to play in that position. It's simple as that. Pick up Rob Rain said, Nuruddin, you said fans do not rate Bruno. Well, you should go to the stadium, my friend, and the fans groaning and moaning how bad he is, giving the most base balls away, and then doing this fucking hoofball. KDB said Bruno's better than Odegaard. No, he's not. The fact's that he's not. He's the facts. Odegaard has been phenomenal since he got into the Arsenal team.
That was KDB's opinion now, right?
I listen to these fans and disregard KDB's opinion. Well, KDB is just like me and you. KDB, just because he's a footballer, don't mean that his opinion is better than you. You watch football all the time. You're obsessed with football. So does that mean that his opinion is a lot more worth than yours? I don't believe that. Just because you play football don't mean that your opinion is carries more weight than mine. At the end of the day, we're all football fans.
Yeah, so let's not pretend like there are facts here at work now. We're talking about opinion, right?
It's simple. We see it differently. Let me get the super chat, Sean. If Amorim uses Bruno and Rashford and doesn't bench them, and they underperform, he will meet the same fate as Eric Ten Hag. They ain't good enough. Simple as. Doesn't matter the amount of waffle shot talks. I don't know. I don't know more than I do know more than you. Listen, let's not make it personal.
No, I'm pretty sure
personal.
that it's worth getting
Let's
personal.
not make
Because I'm
it
pretty
personal.
sure that if Adewale knew as well as he was saying, he wouldn't be watching your channel on YouTube right now, chatting in. He'll be somewhere doing something with his life instead of being on every single YouTube live on every channel sending in super chats, right? So for me, it's BS.
No, it's not. He just likes to interact with football YouTubers because it's real opinions. It's not a television,
because
is it?
because he doesn't have anything to do. His brother is a billionaire.
Listen, because we're not standardized with our opinions. We give real, raw opinions, and some people prefer that.
No, that's fair. What I'm saying is that like the Bruno thing, right? For me, I was going to ask Jarvis, can you divorce Bruno's hero ball, Bruno's style of being, taking it all on his shoulder? Basically, can you divorce that from the overall way the team has been? So this is a team that has not been functional for the last 5 years.
A firm
or
coach
so.
can easily pick off Bruno's wrongdoings easily.
You
start him and you say, okay, no hero ball, and the first time you make a hero ball, out, you're on the bench. It's very easy. And you start in the next game, you give him the same message. First hero ball, take him off.
Yeah,
Third time, he won't do it.
So for me, like it's down to the coach. It's down to Amorim. And what I'm trying to avoid is a situation where United fans ourselves are cutting off Amorim's legs from the get-go.
Sean, no. Sean,
players.
You want to listen, Sean? I'm sorry. That is no, Sean. That is your characterization of the United fan base is wrong. Listen, majority of fans want manager that can get the best out of Rashford and Bruno. And if they're both doing their jobs and we see the changes in the deficiencies in their game and the game simplified for them, majority of fans will not be talking about Bruno and Rashford. They wouldn't be, because that means they're doing their job. Like Roy Keane would say, they're doing their effing jobs. So at the end of the day, for me, I'm giving Amorim the chance. So for me, if that means Bruno plays fantastic football, Rashford plays fantastic football, so be it. I'm just a Manchester United fan. I want Manchester United to do well. So
I think you should speak for yourself.
I'm not gonna be, but in terms of preference, we said it on here. We said it when Eric Ten Hag came. We said, please be careful about play, and he played through Rashford and Bruno, his most successful season at Manchester United. Second season, what happened? They both fucking deserted him. They both disappeared. We were here analyzing.
No, but was it both of them or Ten Hag's basketballification of football?
No, it was both of them. It was both of them. You know, listen, when you trust, right, what Leicester was saying is true, right? Certain players will leave. Like, I remember when Kanchelski's left, when Mark Hughes left. Who else left? Paul Ince, I think. They all left in the same around time, right? And I was like, oh my God, big players, you know what I mean? They left. These youngsters came in and stepped to their shoes and took their opportunities. So I know it's a different time of football, but at times when big players leave, other people step into that role. And it seemed like at Sporting, other people just stepped in that role and they had a different manager, different philosophy. But at the end of the day, for me, I don't want a manager. I want you to, in modern football, to create a system that doesn't rely heavily on one or two individuals.
Yes.
We can talk about this all day and night. Jarvis, do you agree or disagree with me when I say that? You shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket and play through two players.
But nobody actually ever does that.
No? You said that right away in the first season of Den Haag after 6 months. You said it in January, I believe you said it. So yeah, it makes sense.
But nobody ever actually does that, Jarvis.
Squad, and you got to make. You got to make the other players better. You can't just rely on Bruno hitting the ball to Rashford running through and scoring. No, this
is a bit of a straw man, though, because every team in the world, every team in the world ends up relying on one or two core players. Look at Man City now in the wilderness because of Rodri. Arsenal also in the wilderness because of Odegaard. Just wait till Salah gets injured for Liverpool and see where they would be, right? I mean, the idea that like there's no club in the world that doesn't have
Salah's been injured through his time at Liverpool. Salah's not staying fit, Sean. Salah's not being fit throughout every season at Liverpool. He's been injured at times as well, and Liverpool was still banging in goals because they had a system. Like, to me, the biggest thing, let me say something. John, what you want to do is preface what you're saying there and say, if they don't have a quality replacements within the squad. But some managers find quality replacements. Like I expect 100% for Pep Guardiola to put a system in place to players together. It's not just they're missing Rodri, it's that players seem to be tired. And when you go for leagues and leagues and play under that intense pressure, it takes it out of your toll. And one thing Jarvis always says, the Premier League managers work teams out. They find your weakness. If you don't elevate and change and develop, you get caught. That's what Jarvis always tells us, that the Premier League teams is everybody's watching each other closely.
You don't need a game plan. You need a playbook.
Yeah,
you need a playbook. You don't need a game plan.
So we should be looking for Amorim to come in with a clear structure, right? We should be looking for Amorim to come in with a structure that can get the best out of our 20-plus GA midfielder and our potentially 20-plus GA attacker. Instead of coming into it with our minds made up about who is good enough to be in the squad or not, we should be looking for Amorim to put in a structure that hides Bruno's deficiencies so we can get the best out of him, instead of coming with preconceived notions. That's all I'm against, the preconceived notion that if Bruno is in the squad, we're not going anywhere. Because to me, that's a recipe for disaster. But yeah.
It's love rain, people. Can we please keep it? Let's not abuse each other in the chat, right? It's just a debate. It's not even that serious. It's just a football talk, right? Let's not abuse each other. Let's calm down. Big up to everybody. We can talk about this till the cows fucking come home. But if Bruno starts playing better football, keeping ball possession, playing well for the team, playing his own position, taking care of his own game, other than thinking I'm gonna play here on the right back, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go on the wing, I'm going to go back and chase headless chicken, chasing down the goalkeeper. If he stops all of that and plays his position and he's doing well, I don't think anybody would have the problem with him. The problem is that he's tried to be the hero. And if you don't see that, Sean, then I'm sorry, we can't help you. Like,
no, I'm saying you guys are asking Bruno to be a different player. You're asking Bruno Fernandes to be a different player than he is. Bruno is exactly who he is to me. He's exactly who he is, and I don't want him to be anybody else. What I want from my manager is to get the best out of Bruno, right? To make sure that basically his deficiencies are hidden and his strengths are emphasized. That's it. I don't want Bruno to turn into another player. I don't want Bruno to turn into Odegaard. I want Bruno to be exactly who Bruno is, but to have a structure that doesn't have Bruno's deficiencies so highlighted. That's it. I don't want Bruno to turn into anybody else. Asking Bruno to become a player who is careful in possession or who is positionally disciplined, that's not Bruno.
Let me just say this, please, guys. I beg you. Please, Sean and Adewale, let's keep the peace. Please, guys. I beg you. Thank you for the super chat.
I don't want peace, man. No, listen, I don't want peace.
Let me just say, no, we want peace, right? But pick up Adewale for the super chat. He says, sure, first of all, I've made my bro one of my biggest artists to ever come out in Nigeria. My company generates 20% of Nigeria's electricity. And I've had those power plants in your wildest dreams. You could never achieve what I've done for 35 years.
Yeah, I too would like to brag about my father as well.
Respect.
Listen, big up, listen.
As well too.
No, listen, I beg you. I appreciate your super chat, Adewale, but please, let's keep the peace. This is just a football opinion. Let's not personalize it. It's football opinion, and we just completely see it differently. That's how it is. But big up to everybody. Appreciate you all. Big up to Jarvis. Big up to Sean. Big up to Adewale. Big up to every one of you. I don't know why people are not liking the video. I don't know what it is. We've been live now for nearly 2 hours, and we have really, I don't know how many people like the video, but I'm just like, people are just against it, but it's okay. You know, the channel is shadow banned. If you want to help the channel, you know what I mean. Here, everybody talks.
Smash like.
Yeah, everybody talks. Everybody here is raw and real. It's absolutely raw and real opinion. And that's why people want to come, because here.
But I have to say, Nuruddin, I really appreciate the people speaking their truth and what they believe. You know, as long as it's not abusive, feel free to say whatever you like. You know, and that's just the way it is, because it's much better than keeping the peace. It's much better that we really talk things through and find an understanding. And you know, that's just the way it is. But we gotta respect each other's opinion.
Yeah.
Listen, you gotta respect that people have a different opinion than you. And that's
why I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I respect Sean Listen, I respect Sean to have a different opinion than me on anybody else. And I respect people who have totally different opinions. Because even if I disagree with them, I learn things from people who I extremely disagree with. I learn things about people who are... And for me, freedom of speech is real, but as long as no abuse, and big up to Love Rain. You don't have to be sorry, my guy. It's just a different opinion, and that's how it is. I just disagree with this Bruno hate. Simple. Harry, that's it. That's it. I don't think it's hate. I think it's just that player preference. People just prefer different type of players. It is what it is. Listen, it is what it is. Big up to everybody.
And I guess I shouldn't have been yelling, to be
your
fair.
Last word, Sean, your last word.
Yeah,
your last word.
I shouldn't have gotten wound up by this stuff, to be honest, because like the last thing I want to be is a person arguing with people in the comment section on YouTube. I think the agenda stuff, I think it's quite obvious that it exists. I wish the fan base would show more respect to each other. Adewale Adeleke, I don't mean any respect. I like the video, any disrespect, sorry. I like the video. You guys are a prominent Nigerian family, you know, more grease to your elbow, whatever. But I think the Bruno agenda is obvious to me, and it's antithetical to what it means to be a United fan, to have an agenda about a particular player. And I'm just going to call it out whenever I hear it.
Yeah, I mean, you see it that way, but for me, it's just about preference of players. And I'm not going to lie to you, Bruno has not played well for a season and a half. Yes, I can say who's played well for a season and a half at Manchester United. You can throw that back at me, but he is the captain. He's the one who plays. He's the one who hates it when he's being subbed. And I'm afraid when nobody's putting a gun to his head. You step into the kitchen, you have to be able to take this. You have to stand the heat. And that's what it is. Yes, the bigger thing for me in the last 12 years has been the way the Glazers have treated the football club. We take our frustrations with what we see. It's coaches and managers and players. And that's what we take, because that's what we see when they're not misperforming. For me, the larger culture of this football club is toxic, and we need to clear house of that. And I personally believe if I was INEOS, I would clear out Rashford and Bruno and give this guy something different to deal with. Do you know what I mean? A clean health. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie to you. At times with Mourinho, I was like, you back Mourinho. You got him here. Sell Pogba wanted to go anyway. Sell Pogba and thing. And give Bruno, so give Jose the money. Get behind him to see if he can win you a league. And he didn't. You know what I mean? He didn't. They didn't. They backed the players because they backed the guy who was making the money for the Adidas, who was the Adidas ambassador. And that's why Paul Pogba was signed. And he has to leave the club 3 times. But it is what it is, people. Jarvis, last word from you, and then less so.
Yeah. You know, when you mentioned the things on the referee, I think was it David Kuthi, his name was, because when I first saw the video, I thought, what a dumbass, you know, sitting there and spilling his guts out, saying things he shouldn't as a referee. But when you see it in context, you know, and what came out now, he was seen with some kind of white powder and God knows what it was. So, you know, I doubt that anyone of us in the panel or people who are watching in the chat want their best friend sharing a video of you speaking openly while under the influence of alcohol or whatever substance you have taken. And I believe many of those who shout the loudest are hypocrites, and they should consider the context surrounding the referee, you know, David Coote. And you know, there's a saying in the Bible, I believe, that say, let the one who's without sin cast the first stone, or throw the first stone or something. And it made me think, you know, so you made a good argument and you made me think about the situation. And it's not easy for him. But what he did, there's no excuse. But I don't think we make it better by condemning him to hell and back as a human. So that's just my take on David Kuth. So big up, guys. Thanks for watching.
Definitely.
Go ahead, last word from you.
Stay away from drugs.
All in all, man, I think I agree with what Jarvis just said right now with regards to that. You know, it's an unfortunate situation, but you know, it is what it is. We have cell phones these days, so you know, we have to be careful in every moment that we have, and anything can get publicized. So, you have to uphold yourself a certain way because you represent whoever you work with or hang around or, you have any sort of relationship with. So, yeah, and we have to tread carefully with regards to that. And yeah, to make my final point on terms of the Bruno thing. I mean, I want the club to play a certain way, and I know with certain players we can't play a specific way because they do not fit that profile, whether I like them or not. In essence, it's about how the manager wants to play, and if he wants to play a certain way, and he feels that certain players need to go, then he needs to stick by his guns. He shouldn't be afraid because there's big sponsors behind that or PR team behind that. He should be given the license. Otherwise, he will not be successful, here. So that's the point I wanted to actually get to make. And yeah, hopefully looking forward to Amorim doing what he needs to do. And yeah, do what's best for the team. Big up to the chat.
Big up, big up.
Yeah, big up everybody. Big up. Keep the peace. We don't want any problems. Big up Adewale. Big up everybody who super chatted tonight. Big up to Jarvis. Big up to Sean. Big up to Lesso. Apologies about the lateness of the show, people. But it is what it is. When friends make time and they do amazing things like make an amazing meal. Big up Mike. Big up Nikki. Big up Sophie. Big up Ed. Big up his dad. Happy birthday for tomorrow. Yeah, it was a lovely time watching England between an English person and a Greek person, and I went with Greece, but they unfortunately got beat. Big up to all the fans in the French fans who didn't show up to legitimize.
Did you have dinner, Nordin?
Yeah, I had amazing Greek food.
Greek food?
Amazing Greek food.
Tzatziki or moussaka or
honestly, the food. She is my friend Sophia is one of the best chefs you will ever meet. I swear to God, she makes food. So her food is some of the best food I've ever had. I'm not lying to you. Her food is just healthy and delicious. The best combinations is to eat healthy food that's delicious.
Yes.
She makes gourmet. When she makes the meal, she makes like proper. So many different things or varieties in your plate. I'm full up right now. Big up to everybody. So big up to everybody. Big up to all who's watching. But that's what it was. Appreciate you all. So you can see here Jarvis Bowley 77, Jarvis Cocker coming very soon. The Jarvis Stewie Tactical Devils coming up soon, mate. Tactical Devils channel is coming very soon, so make sure you leave a lookout for that. You can catch him on Man UFC Realist TV, and he's also a regular contributor to the therapy channel out here. So big up to Jarvis always.
Yes.
And big up to all the people, all the French fans who didn't turn up to legitimize the Zionist entity that's committing a fucking genocide in Palestine right now. Big up to Sean. I always respect he has a different opinion to most of us. Make sure you check him out at Sean Thomas. Make sure you check him out on the podcast, geopolitical podcast, How We See Things. Make sure you check it out all across your podcast providers. Make sure you check out Lesso Football TV and follow him at Black Rain on Twitter. Love and light, people. Big up to everybody. Here we go. Shekarian tonight for helping us do the show as well. Matthew. Big up to everybody. Free Palestine, free fucking Lebanon, free Congo, free Sudan, free Tigray, free Ogaden, free anywhere where people are oppressed. Free anybody who's tried to oppress people because of their belief, because of their gender, because of their orientation, because who they are, ethnicity, whether they are in the color and creed and religion. Big up to everybody. Freedom. Fuck fucking Zionism and fuck is the state of Israel. Fuck their IDF while we're there as well. And they're rampaging, beating up Paris in Paris, beating up French fans in their own stadium tonight. That's what the world has come to. But forever the victim. Forever the fucking victim. Now, the thugs from Israel are going to play the fucking victim. Fuck them and their victim fucking mentality. Fuck them. The fucking fascist Zionists. That's what we say on this fucking channel. Simple as. And we don't give a fuck if we're shadow banned. I'd rather be authentic and fucking have whatever subscribers than to be fucking fake and go with a fucking machinery. Anti-establishment here, people. Anti-fucking establishment. This is the fucking channel. Fuck the Glazers. Fuck the rap. It's fucking INEOS as well.
Somebody said fuck the GCSEs too. You better go and study for your
Fuck
exam.
the GCSEs.
Whoever that is.
Fuck the GCSEs too. No exam will ever define who you are as a human being. Remember that, Sheikh Ari. Fuck the GCSEs.
Just make sure you study too.
Yeah. No GCSE exams, no so-called school qualifications will ever define you, who you are as a human being. You're more of a beautiful human being than any fucking bullshit things written on the paper. Just find something you're passionate about and give it your best. And more times you will succeed. Remember that. Love. Love to everybody. Take care. Look after yourselves. We'll be live tomorrow. I might just go live tomorrow midday.
Big up, guys.
Talk a bit about breaking news. But big up to Sheikh Arian, honestly. Large part of the show tonight. Did a lot for us. Appreciate you with all the incredible
updates.
That you got us. The only thing that will help me in the next world is that in my grave is my prayers, the Quran, nothing else. There you go. I believe. Strong faith is in spiritual belief. Those who do, I love and respect those who do, and those who don't. I love them because they're humans. You know, see the humanity in each other. And at times, even though they're committing a fucking genocide, I still sometimes do want to fucking dehumanize the fucking Zionist. But it is what it is. Fuck the Glazer Zionist racist INEOS too. There you go.
Oh man.
100%.
Big up, love and light, people. Good night.
Good night.